Coming up next, a chat with Danger Island models. Well, hey guys, and this is now WonderFest Chat number 3 as my coverage from WonderFest 2026 continues. In this video, I get a chance to interview the two guys who started a company called Danger Island Models. As I was walking the show floor, I noticed a really nice statue of Nova from Planet of the Apes. It immediately caught my eye. I walked over to look at it, and I struck up a conversation with the guys at that booth. After talking with them, and they were telling me about their company and the products that they sell, I thought this might be a subject matter that some of you would be interested in, especially if you're fans of classic horror and built those monster kits that we all remember from our childhood. The guys at Danger Island Models have a real passion for vintage horror, and they've created an incredible line of figures and products that they're going to share with us in this video. Now, I also had a chance to talk to one of the artists they've partnered with to create some of these incredible figures. His name is Michael Cusanelli, and he had worked in the toy industry for many years, and in fact, even designed and sculpted some of the heads for G.I. Joe figures. So let's go ahead and get started now with our chat with the guys from Danger Island Models. Okay, well, we are with Steve and Jeff Danger from Danger Island Models. All right, and I was walking the floor, and what I want to show you guys are just some unique products that are available here at WonderFest, and I just love what you guys have here. So tell me a little bit about Danger Island Models.
Well, Danger Island Models came out of our very long 30-year friendship that started here at WonderFest, actually. Jeff was from the suburbs of Detroit. I was from the suburbs of Chicago. But we met here. We had common interests. We became friends, and when Jeff moved out to San Francisco and got married, we've always stayed in touch, and he would fly out to Chicago and drive down to WonderFest with me. And one of our trips down, I just said, Jeff, I've always wanted to do a model kit.
Yeah.
Jeff had a lot of experience because he's a sculptor, very talented sculptor, mainly in the mask realm, Halloween mask type things. But he humored me and said, okay, let's do it. And so we just kind of started with a couple of kits. Subject matters we really love personally. Both big horror film fans. So what we did is we just made a short list of things that might interest us to do as kits. And if you show your viewers kind of our selection, there's nothing we have here that we don't love personally. We've never been the kind of like, well, you know, we would make far more money if we did a resin model kit of a scene from Apocalypse Now. We pick things we love. Jeff is a huge fan of Hammer horror films. I think to date maybe our best-selling kit has been based on Blood from the Mummies 2, a Hammer horror film called Terra Unbound, sculpted by the very, very talented Mike Cusanelli, who we might be able to bring on camera in a minute.
And that's the one you've got, that's the sculpt that you've got over there.
Yeah, that's the one that says sold out on it because it was sold out early this morning. I also have a love for paleontology and Raquel Welch from 1 Million Years BC because she represented what women really looked like a million years ago. And so we've got a couple of really brilliant new Cave Girl kits that Mike sculpted. Also, I'm a huge Flash Gordon fan, and that goes back to my childhood and my grandfather introducing me to Buster Crabbe's Flash Gordon serials. My grandfather had been a movie theater owner back in the 1930s, and he loved Flash Gordon. That started off with me. So after we got our start, I said to Jeff, you know, I'd like for us to, if you don't mind, kind of go crazy and do a 2-figure kit, do Flash and Dale. And so we did. It's all about our passion for film icons, but also our personal love of the model kit industry, the hobby. Our name, Danger Island, was a segment on the Banana Split show that we loved, and it's our passion for this that drove us to this. And I mean, that's not unique to this show. Everyone you talk to is we love this.
That's why we're all here.
That's absolutely right. It's why you do what you do in introducing people to this. So it's kind of neat.
That's great. So we were talking a little bit earlier about the Planet of the Apes. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's something I've loved forever, and I thought that a Nova kit would be a lot of fun to do. So we thought, well, we can introduce Nova, and then we can have a connecting base to have Brent from beneath the Planet of the Apes just butt up against it. The sculpture is here. We're passing it on to our caster at the end of the show, and
it'll be a kit.
It'll be a kit that's available, in the next couple of months.
Okay, very good.
And then, depending on how that goes, my absolute first love was Planet of the Apes. My dad and mom took me to see it.
Right.
First run when I was 5 years old, and I've been a fan ever since.
Yeah. So that leads me now to the other thing that caught my eye on the far edge of your display here. Are these displays that you can put the figures onto? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so Jeff and I, Danger Island Models is an official licensee from Dencom Products, who owns the rights to do the styrene model kits of monster scenes and prehistoric scenes. And back in the early 2000s, there were a group of guys, they called themselves the Sceners, and they would do very short-run resin backgrounds that would connect to those two product lines. And so a couple of years ago, I asked Jeff if he would mind if I started exploring, finding those old molds and meeting some of those old sceners. I said, here's what we'd like to try to do. And 3 of the 4 said, oh, what's your address? And next thing I'm getting boxes of molds. One of them, Judy and her husband Jim Webb had a company called Jim and Judy's Horror Models. And when I reached out to them, Jim was struggling with a illness. And so Judy asked if we could just leave them alone for a while. And then Jim passed away in October. And Judy reached out and she said, if you're still interested, I'd be interested. So that's why we have officially Monster Scene packaged Parts Pit and Dr. Deadly's Den, which were 2 of the kits they did. And what they literally are is backdrops for all the styrene kits, but they also connect to the styrene kits. Then Jeff, who can't help himself but sculpt, said, I want to try my hand at this, and we have the prototype here of the crypt, and it looks like a mausoleum where there's one of the panels actually opens up, and then we're going to do as separate kits a casket on a base, which we have the prototypes for here as well.
Very good.
They're literally for people who want to build scenes. And plugging next year, we're going to actually have a sceners sub-theme of the show, and we're sponsoring a special award in the contest, and we're going to have a display room for people who have built scenes starting with the styrene kits and then using add-ons.
Okay, so next we're going to bring on Mike here. So he's on more on the design side, would you say?
Mike Cusanelli is a career sculptor. He started in the toy industry. Back in the 90s, many of the 12-inch G.I. Joes that came out from Hasbro, Mike sculpted the heads for. Mike, come on in.
Hi, Mike.
Everyone. Hi.
Nice to meet
Mike
you. How
Cusanelli.
are you? All right. So what I'm interested in is give us some insight into the creative process. So say you have an idea, something you've come up with and you want to sculpt. Where does it all start, and where do you go from there?
With a ball of wax.
A ball of wax. Okay.
Yeah. Occasionally, I'll do a little bit of sketching. Like, to give you an example, one of the pieces that we're doing, I actually sat down and had to plan it out because I was trying to do a base that told the story of what we wanted to tell, and but it also had to be producible, economically. And so the sketches really helped. But most of the time when I work on a figure, I will rough out the figure in wax, and then because of wax's properties, I can actually move it around and turn it. And, I could kind of tweak the pose as I go. And most things get changed several times as I go, all through the sculpture. So that's basically it. Starts out with an idea. Sometimes I'll see a photograph of something, or sometimes I'll be inspired by a movie or whatever. And these guys are fantastic with their ideas. So
I just love how the poses look so natural, because I find you come across some sculpts and they just kind of look like mannequins, you know, but it brings them to life when you can add, I don't know what it is. What is it about it that, I mean, do you...
it's the sway of the hip.
The sway of the hip. Well, you know what? I'm a fanatic for making the anatomy as correct as I can at the time. You know, you always look back on your work a couple of years later and see a lot of mistakes. And that's actually good because then you know that you're still learning. You can't look at it and go, oh, that was a great sculpt. You know, you look back and you go, oh, what did I do that for? But basically, I spent a tremendous amount of time trying to get the anatomy right, and that I think makes a huge difference, because if you just rough out a figure very quickly and then start throwing a costume or whatever on it, you run into the danger of making something that does not look right. And when you get the figure down and you get the anatomy right, then you can do the drapery of the clothing the way it would look on a figure that is actually anatomically good. I'm not saying, believe me, they're not perfect, and they never will be, but everything I do, excuse me, at the time that you see it is the best I could do at that point.
Thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And I'll definitely post a link to their website, and look forward to seeing more from you guys.
Very good.
All right, take care. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this interview. It really was a lot of fun talking with them, and I encourage you to check out their website. I've placed the link down below. They have some unique figures there, and some really nice, cool things, as they mentioned in their interview there, that you can add as backgrounds to some of these kits that you can get a hold of. All right, well, coming up next now will be WonderFest Chat number 4, in which I speak to a model builder who brought these really interesting dioramas based on the original series, Next Generation, and Voyager. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you then in the next video. Take care.